Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel, July 30th, 2017. And this early evening, we are here today with our Planet X physicist, Dr. Albers. How are you this evening?
I'm very well, thank you, Scott. And how are you?
I'm doing very, very well. So what do you think of this new recent turn of events with these new photographs coming in from Germany?
Well, this was amazing, Scott. Of course, now we have two independent telescope observations of this same object. We have the ones you made, and we have the ones that this other man made from Germany. So we have, therefore, independent corroboration from two different points on the surface of the planet from two different people. And I was so surprised to look at this object and to see that it's lost even more of that material that was clinging to its solid surface. It's obviously the same object. It's blue. It has grooves on the surface. It's extremely large.
At 2 o'clock this morning, whenever I started going through my emails, and I immediately recognized this. It's like a text message that comes from a cell phone, and I recognized the country code for Germany. And, you know, over the course of the last 9 months, I've really lost a lot of contact with a lot of my European subscribers for one reason or another. I believe it has something to do with the internet, because this all started to occur back in October of 2016. Well, I would say about a week after the internet issue was handed over to the UN, or whatever Obama did. So very, very interesting. The email that I got, it was actually written in German. I had to, translate it with the Google Translator real quick. And it basically said, I found the same blue bastard that you found back in May. I've been watching your videos, and here is the evidence. And there were multiple photographs in there, and I was truly amazed at what I was seeing. And I reviewed these photographs for about 2 hours, and I sent a large batch of them to a good friend of mine that's kind of like Prep Bossy. He's really good at bringing out some of the detail in these photographs for video use.
Well, that's bullshit. Pictures I've taken with the telescope camera on it, I haven't needed to do anything to bring any detail out of the moon, the sun, the stars, nothing. If you take a decent photograph, you take a decent photograph. You don't need to enhance it for presentation in videos. So you're just talking shit.
And he did just that, and he was pretty amazed at what he saw. Also, I shared the photographs with a lot of you on the Facebook, Planet X News Facebook page. I shared them with the doctor, and, she was pretty surprised herself. And she's been working on this since about 6:30 this morning, nonstop. So she's actually put in over 12 hours examining the photographs and writing the report that we're about to get into. So we all have a better understanding of what we're looking at.
Yes, but most normal people call them JPEG compression, dirt on CCD sensors, or gamma rays. Not you two though, do you? They have to be planets, or stellar cores, arseholes.
What these possibilities really are. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of people out there that are really trying to research and investigate this matter also. And there is a huge possibility that we are experiencing and possibly seeing multiple objects and possibly different types of stellar objects. And the doctor came to that conclusion today.
Yes, the different ones being called lens flare, cosmic rays, and JPEG compression. They're not planets or stellar cores. Honestly, they're not.
And there's a couple YouTube channels out there that I got to give a shout out to, and that's Pete over at WDHCO. Listen, he's been doing some fantastic work with the photographs and video from Becky Lewis. Absolutely amazing footage. And Pete's a pretty smart guy. He's been doing this for a long time.
Pete's about as smart as any other Nibiru knob. He's also very underhand and rather nasty type. But he's only as scary as you allow him to be. He's a twat. Treat him like a twat. You can soon put him in his place.
BP Earthwatch came out with a video today. BP just came right out and called NASA a liar. You're hiding something. And he was able to prove it using some old LASCO footage from 2014.
BP Earthwatch, don't make me laugh. He's a blithering imbecile. He talks utter shite. And he's also another proponent of his electric universe, which can't hold its own fucking water with a colostomy bag.
You know, Jeff P., doing all of his work on proving that there is a sun simulator or some other form of light out there, some type of device or object that is blocking our view.
Scott, I don't think you understand. This picture, and the many others I'm going to be taking, shit all over this stupid sun simulator's sun shield crap. There isn't one. I'm getting direct pictures of the sun. Nothing in the way. And this also means I can see any shit that you say is there that isn't. So you're both in deep shit, you stupid bastard.
You know that I believe in making observations and making logical deductions from these observations. That's what I have been doing. And to tell you the truth, the observations of these objects, these solid objects in the sun's corona, of which this is one of many.
Observational evidence is all very well, and so is logic. The Greeks were good on logic. They were very hot on it, actually. But it does have its faults. In one of the Greek stories is they deduced that there were holes in the skin because of sweat. And as we know, they were quite right, because we have things called pores that allow sweat to exit and helping us to cool down. But their logic failed on the understanding of fire, because they believed the fire was contained within wood. And we know that's not how it works. And unfortunately, you're using logic the same way. Just because you can see something in a camera lens doesn't mean there's a physical object there. And whereas everyone else has an understanding of how camera optics work, and how lens flares, JPEG compressions, cosmic rays hitting the sensors, and any other innumerable effects in camera can happen, you don't. So you fail because you haven't ruled out everything else beforehand. You've just decided, ooh, that's got to be a planet because it suits my narrative, and I'm going to chat bullshit about it.
Now, an object that is 1/3 the size of the sun is 3.3 times the size of Jupiter. because the sun is 10 times larger than Jupiter. So immediately we have an extremely large object close to the sun. And the objects seem to have stripes. And what kind of objects in the universe have stripes? It's gas giant planets like Jupiter have stripes, and brown dwarfs, which are substellar objects somewhat between stars and gas giant planets, and with the same type of cloud formations as gas giant planets, so striped cloud formations. So initially this object looked like it might be a gas giant or a substellar object, a brown dwarf.
Just to help you all out with the visualization, here's a picture of the sun I took with the sunspot 2670. And then I copied it, pasted it, shrunk it, and changed the tint slightly. You can still see the sunspot if you look really closely. That is the sun at a third the size as claimed in the paperwork. Do you really think we would miss an object that big wandering around the sun as it's supposed to be orbiting it? This really does call into question Claudia's claims. Come on, people, wake up. If I can see a tiny sunspot on the sun with my telescope, then I'm sure as hell going to be able to see wandering celestial remnants, or whatever she wants to call them. Think about it. And now at last we move to the nub of this video. The so-called pictures from the German astronomer. The thing is, I've seen this picture before. A while back, a long while back. So I think Scott's telling porkies. Big porkies. And other than that, if this guy's an astronomer, the picture would have been much, much better than this. And there's some interesting things that have turned up in the meantime since this video was made, which is the whole reason behind this video. So I've chopped out a load of shit, and let's move on to the exciting bits, shall we?
Low on energy. It's no longer able to ionize its, at least the top layers of gas. And when that happens, it starts growing in size, and it becomes what's called a red giant. A red giant therefore starts ejecting.
So here we have it. This is the image that's about to cause all the ruckus. Or it caused a small ruckus in comments, and we shall move on and see why. So, the picture from the German astronomer turns up in one of Steve's videos on the same day. Actually, it turned up within an hour of Scott's video. So, did Steve nick it? Who knows? Who really cares? But it's the comment that Scott makes later on, about a week later, that's of interest. Because this is supposed to be the image from a German astronomer, unnamed as usual, as is with Scott. And it's a shitty pic from an astronomer. Doesn't bear any resemblance to an astronomical pic, which is highly suspicious in itself. And then there's this comment. So, here's the comment. As you see, Scott is now claiming he took the picture. And we've run through all the videos since, and we haven't seen any other pictures that have come from Scott's videos. So, this is the only one that we know is a crossover from Scott's to Steve's. So, this is the one he must be referring to. And Scott is saying he took the picture. Not the German astronomer of no name. Scott. So, has he been lying again? Wouldn't surprise me. Then we came across a comment on Facebook. Obviously, we have to anonymise the comment, but it made for interesting reading. And of course, Scott totally ignored it for obvious reasons, like it pissed all over his narrative. But it got me thinking. And then with my recent foray into solar photography, re-looking at the picture, it really got me thinking. And so, one of the T.R.O.L.L members had a go. Because instead of moss, I thought lichen. The green blobby planet looks like lichen. And this is what we came up with. So here we have the magic ingredients. 1. A picture of the sun, badly focused, overexposed, and it's bleached out in the tube of the telescope. 2. A picture of some lichen on a rock. And 3. This is the result. Interesting. And it's also not as if Scott has never faked images before. This makes interesting viewing.